But yeah, what are you trying to accomplish here? You know, like,
yeah,
what, like, so I get it. Like, okay, she's gonna be the person to really save everybody here. Like, but you have a fucking chainsaw sliced from your neck, pretty much, all the way down.
All the way down.
Like,
held her up. You can't tell me that didn't just keep cutting through.
Yeah, how? So you're just not dead?
Yeah, I didn't. That and
Too
the fact
many
it was
organs here,
the fact it was 10 minutes later really bothered me.
Yeah, I'm like, and like I did say though, like what I loved though was like after so she was talking all this shit. I'm gonna kill you, and like I'm fucking here finally. You don't remember me? Oh, I'll make you remember me. Fucking just sliced her.
He gave no fucks.
He doesn't care.
Yeah.
You know, and after all that shit you've been talking, and after all that shit, like it's haunted you for 40 years.
Yeah.
You couldn't do shit to him.
Yep, exactly. And that's I do like that because the trailer makes it feel more like she's gonna be a bigger part of the story.
Yeah.
But the fact that they said like, hey, by the way, y'all actually don't have a connection. Like it's just Leatherface.
Yeah.
Like you just happen to survive that time. But anyway, we've really aired out our grievances for what we didn't like right here. So we did like a lot of this movie, and I think for the majority of the case, we liked the movie more good than bad. So what are the things, Justin, that you liked the most about this? Give me like some specific scenes,
honestly,
some specific characters, like some moments. What do you got? What the acting style, directing style?
So the characters really... Characters made me angry. They're just they felt super self-righteous to me, and I didn't. So I really found the actual characters annoying. But with that said, that means they did a good job.
Yeah,
right?
they went with that, and they kind of did this with the one in 74, is they took what was popular right now and made characters that embody them. So I appreciated it because I felt like I knew somebody that was each one of these characters.
Yeah.
And the ones I liked in real life, I liked in the movie.
Yep.
The ones that really annoyed me in the movie were ones I was like, wow, these people annoy me in real life.
Yeah. So, yeah, I completely agree there. I like that they kept it modern. Also, it was, cancel culture, the whole thing.
That was funny.
Yeah.
Just the cancel culture peeps and Leatherface just ripped them apart.
Fucked them all up, bro. Just fucked them all up.
Can't cancel Leatherface.
Yeah.
No matter what they do.
And then there's obviously I love the kills. The kills were even if the kills didn't make sense, they were fucking brutal. And I will always respect violent kills.
Yeah.
They were always. I think up until the last 30 to 40 minutes. I think the directing was great. It was just, and the shots were done beautifully. Like I said, the door specifically, the door scene, I loved. I was like, wow, this is great. And aside from that, I do want to bring up something that I don't like, just real quick, because I forgot.
Just pop in here. We don't have a structure.
Yeah, so Dante, when they were trying to show the guy the title or the deed of the house, right? He goes, let's not get the banker involved. So he decides to look for it himself.
And that's when.
But why?
Yeah, could have just.
The banker's right there. Just tell you bought the place, right? What's the?
No, they didn't have. They needed to show the deed to the contractor to get their keys back because they were trying to leave. Yeah. So I could see that. To play devil's advocate, I could see him being I'm just gonna go find it to get the keys back, and he tried to play hero. Let's be honest.
Yeah. So
and he got fucked up for it.
Everybody got fucked up. The only person
except for is it Lila or Lila?
The Lila. That's her.
Yeah.
Oh, she looks.
Yeah, she had short hair in the movie.
Different.
Yeah.
Oh, she looks attractive there. She doesn't look attractive in the movie. So.
Yeah, I mean, she's really the only one that survives.
Yeah, watched your sister die. Fuck that bitch. I'm glad she died because I
wasn't a huge fan of her.
Yeah, she annoyed. They both annoyed me. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah.
So
I'm glad that they Well, I say quote unquote won at the end, but they
didn't. I knew he wasn't fucking dead, bro.
win.
I knew he wasn't dead. Like, as soon as he went in that water, I'm like, he's gonna come up somewhere.
I was like, his eyes are open when he's coming, when he's falling through the water. Like, they zoomed in on his eye.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the shots, the directing was good up until the last 30 to 40 minutes. I think the kills were awesome. I think the acting was good. I just, I think like the cohesiveness really just bothered me like a lot.
It was really good in the beginning.
Yeah. And I think that's pretty much like, it's just a lot of holes in there, you know? Mm-hmm. So, but aside from that, really, I pretty much enjoyed everything else.
Now, how do you feel about the guy that played Leatherface? Do you think he did justice to the character?
Yeah.
Because, you know, there's been a few, like, I think 3 people now that have played Leatherface, 3 or 4. And it's not an easy character to play.
No.
There's a lot to it. You have to be, like we said, the supernatural thing kind of can cover up some stuff, but as of right now, we don't think he is. So it's to carry and to be a 60-year-old Leatherface can't be easy either. It's something that we've never seen on screen before.
That's what I was about to say. You know, me and Brandon were watching this together at work, and I was like, you can just outrun this motherfucker. Bro, he's like 60 years old. Like, he's not going to be able to, there's no way in hell is he going to be able to keep up with somebody who's 20.
Yeah.
Regardless of what kind of shit, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, he wasn't running around. Like, I guess he was. Now, he was running around with the chainsaws are not light.
No.
This man threw a chainsaw at one point. Like, so he's got some strength to him at 60.
Yeah. But
he's got some strength.
So, yeah. I don't know. That's like, I just run the whole time.
Yeah, we can nitpick everything out of this, right?
So, what about you? What did you like?
So, I really like the bus scene. Is incredible to me. I think I told you I was 10 times better than I thought it would be. I was very skeptical on that because of how the trailer portrayed it.
It could be very corny.
Yeah, it was extremely bloody. Like, he was throwing body parts. Like, he was cutting people in half. Like, just when the banker is leaning out the window and he just cuts her in half and she spills. Like, there were so many things good. Like, they had nowhere to go. Like, that's terrifying just being there. So that was my favorite scene probably. I loved all the kills. They all felt original. They felt brutal in their own way, and none of them were just like, just happened to like have one lazy kill in there. I felt like all the kills were earned and they were nice. A lot of great effects. The gore effects and the blood effects were fantastic. They looked practical too. We're not talking.
I love the makeup, on Dante especially. Like that, I did love that.
I want to look into how they did a lot of those kills because they looked very practical. Like, I didn't see much CGI in there, which is amazing.
I think most of that blood stuff was probably practical.
Like, I know they did CGI and had some tricks probably with the very last scene, cutting off Melody's head. Oh yeah. Because how cohesive that shot was. I wouldn't be surprised if she was wearing like a green suit.
Held that shit up like a trophy.
Yeah.
Like a trophy.
So that's like, I actually am going to comment on, I actually really liked that scene. I know I've seen hot and cold takes on this online because it's trying to be the ending of the original of her flying.
It's got its own little twist.
Yeah, it's like the autopilot thing is funny because like everyone's crazed about auto driving cars.
Yeah.
And there's like, I mean, you didn't have anyone else to survive. They could like pick her up, and without doing the same exact scene again, they click autopilot, and it was cool. And I've watched that scene over several times. You really don't see Leatherface coming, but you kind of have a feeling he's still alive, but you don't know how they're gonna show him. But him grabbing Melody out of the car, and then
through the glass.
Yeah, and like they did the lighting the same, like where it almost looked like the sun the sun coming up. Like at the time, it was well shot. It was funny because autopilot, so I could see how some people could think it was comical.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed it. I laughed at it, not at first, but like after a while, I'm like, oh, I see. Like, I don't know if they were like trying to be 100% serious, but having Leatherface swing the chainsaw around with her head in hand, like that, I did love that shot. I was like, that's a hard thing to do because it's so iconic of a shot.
I was gonna say that could be another like iconic photo, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
the iconic shot of that one.
Just him like that, you know, like, because that you could look back, like, you never know, because we're talking about a 1974 film and we're in 2022, right? Like, 40 years from now we could be like, yo, do you remember that? Like in 2064, let's just say 42 years from today, like, and I'm like talking to you. I'm like, yo, do you remember when we were talking about the 2022 and this was like,
See, actually, I think I appreciate it more now after watching it several times.
That specific
like,
ending?
They didn't shy away from it.
No.
You know what I mean? They didn't like say, well, we can't touch the ending of the original, so we're just going to play it safe. They didn't play it safe, and I appreciate that. There are people that didn't like it. There's people that liked it. At the end of the day, I appreciate that they said, screw it, we're going to do it. We're going to put our own twist on it, and we're going to make it more brutal. Guess what? He actually did get one of the people, rather than the girl pulling away in a car. But that's how I felt. I liked this film. I did. I liked it for the most part. I liked the gore, Leatherface, the kills. If it was boiled down just to that, I would have been like, I really enjoyed this movie. I didn't have to like. There's movies you want to think through and like have psychological thrillers and like have smart stuff attached to it. This is not one of those movies. And as soon as they started trying to force some of that stuff was when it took me out.
Yeah, I just think like a lot of those times, like if it's a psychological like type movie, yes, it makes sense.
And this just isn't.
Exactly. Yeah. When you're talking about when you're talking about Leatherface, when you're talking about Michael Myers, when you're talking about Jason Voorhees, when you're talking about Freddy Krueger, these things don't require an intelligent aspect of the movie, because really these people are just crazy or are supernatural, and in that aspect you don't have to make it super intellectual, because that's not what the movie is about. And I don't think when you're talking about and I could be wrong here, but I believe that if you talk to the original writers of a 1974 Texas Chainsaw Massacre, he's not, or he or she, I don't know who the actual writer is, probably would not tell you that this isn't something you needed.
It was Toby Hooper, right? That had done the original movie, directed it.
Possibly.
Let me look it up. Yeah. He's director, screenwriter.
But I probably
see if he wrote. I think he wrote it too. Yeah, he directed it.
Yeah.
Music by everything.
So did he help with this one at all?
No.
So like if you talk to him, you're going off of him, I'd probably say it'd probably be a safe bet for me.
That's actually a great question. If he had if he would have, I think he passed away.
Oh, okay.
I think he passed away without. He passed away in 2017.
Yeah. So if you talk to him, I don't know. Like
I wonder how he felt. I want to look back and see how he felt about the other remakes.
I would assume that he'd be like, "Oh yeah, don't put too much thought into this. This guy's just crazy. He's a killer.
Just make it simple.
Yeah, and I don't.
Why are people watching Texas Chainsaw Massacre? Like why? Think about it.
Yeah, because of how crazy he is, and he's simple. Like there's nothing. You can enjoy it, without having to think about it too much. Like it's not one of these slasher classic films. Don't require that. I don't believe so. Like I don't.
I agree completely. So with that said, to wrap this up, let's get to the pillar point system.
Got it.
You want to go first? You want me to go first?
You go first.
All right. So terror factor.
Yep.
It wasn't super scary, but like the moments shocked me. Like it wasn't scary, but like when stuff happened,
it was shocking.
I was like, oh. Yeah. Like I reacted to it.
I agree.
Right?
For sure.
Cohesiveness, 60% of that film felt cohesive. The other 40% felt like they didn't
That's a good number.
They really knew where they wanted to end. They knew how they wanted to get there. They didn't know what to do when they got there. But they still had a lot of good stuff. A lot of good stuff in there. Acting, like I said, there's characters in there I really dislike, just as people, and what their character portrays.
That means they did a good job acting, though, right?
I was gonna say I loved the acting.
Yeah.
I really respected the acting. Everybody, top to bottom, I thought did a good job. I know that some of the writing may have been cheesy. I think it was intentionally written for some of those characters to be like that.
And like actors can't do anything with that. Like you can try to improv, but a lot of times when you're on set and you try to improv a line or two, depending on like the movie or whatever TV show you're
and how
in.
much credit you have as an actor.
Yeah.
Like someone new on set isn't going to be able to do that.
Probably less likely to be able to do something like that. Yes.
So emotional investment. I didn't care a ton about the main characters, and like I said, there were too many things that they tried to force in there that took me out of caring about the characters, like that mass shooting thing. I was like, I don't need that to make me care.
I
about
don't know if you wanted me to feel like
I cared more about Dante.
Yeah,
I cared. I wished the contractor Richter or whatever his name was. I wished he was in the movie longer. Really liked him. The storyline, the storyline was good.
I like the sheriff.
Sheriff was good. I like the storyline because of how they did it. They went with something original. They just didn't need Sally to come back. Sally Hardesty, they just didn't need her back, in my opinion. So with that said, I take those into account, but I kind of scored on my own.
Question, before you actually give this rating, I want to ask you, are you going to add the political agenda as part of the storyline? Because that's technically part of the storyline.
I would say so.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. That I told Madison, that stuff really took that movie from being like really, really good to just being good to me.
Yep.
So I give it a 3 out of 5.
That's a very fair score. I would give the same score because I really didn't feel like it was scary, but it was definitely shocking.
Yeah.
Definitely shocking.
Which has its own right.
Yes. The cohesiveness and the dictatorial touch, I just thought, like I said, it was very, very well shot there in the beginning. Very creative. So the director did a really good job. The cohesiveness there toward the end, though, really took me out of it. I'm like, I was like, you know, you react to movies, and like you're like, oh shit, or it's like,
yeah, or that didn't get a reaction out of you. It just happens.
Yeah.
Deflating.
And like that's how it was for me towards like the last 30-40 minutes.
Yeah.
I hated those two bitches, and like, which means the acting was great, right? And like
one day we're gonna get them like in an interview, like they'll blow up, get them an interview, and we're gonna have to answer to this.
I'm like, yeah, I called you a bitch because you were a bitch. What do you mean, like, you were a bitch? You did a great job.
You did a great job being a bitch.
Yeah,
great job.
So, what do you want me to tell you?
No,
like, you did a good job. I'm complimenting you.
You made me want Leatherface to kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I didn't. I'm right on the same page with you here as far as emotional investment. I didn't really care about the main characters as much. Like, if they had died, like, you know, I was happy to see the curly-headed bitch die. Like, so I was like, if they had just died, like all died, and Leatherface decided to kill, like, he just killed them all, and nobody survived, I would have been okay with, like, it wouldn't have hurt me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't. Storyline is like I didn't. It started good, you know, except for the mass shooting thing. But like, it started good, and then just went down.
This is one that where less is more.
Yeah,
less is more here.
So 3 is fair, and like,
is that what you give it as well?
Yeah, I would give it. The reason I would give it lower, but the reason I give it a 3 is because the acting was that good. And just the shots, like the creativeness of the kills too.
We harped on that a little bit, but like it was very well shot. Yeah, incredibly. Dark space, dark scenes, dark spaces, all that hit the nail on the head. So it was good. I'm glad. Like, I hope everyone that's watched it also has enjoyed it or has their own thoughts about it. If you have your own thoughts, let us know what y'all think. We love hearing what everyone thinks. We got a lot of good feedback on the Instagram post on what people. Initial thoughts after they'd seen it, whether they were turning it on to watch it, they're excited, they're thinking it's going to be this. All that stuff was coming up, which I really appreciated and we really appreciate. One thing I want to say before we leave, if you haven't already seen, there's a post-credit scene that looks like Leatherface is walking back to the original Sawyer house. So if Netflix sees this one does well, I'd imagine there's going to be another one.
Probably will. I mean, it doesn't seem like...
I mean, Netflix bought it because the studio didn't like it.
It just, you know, I do feel
that's what makes me nervous.
I mean, they also bought Squid Game that people didn't like for
very true, and we're gonna have another season of that.
Yeah,
yep.
And so like I think it'll do well. Mm-hmm. I think it's just because it's mainly because of the name. Yeah. I think it'll do well. I'm just not sure.
It brought a lot of people back to watching horror movies like the casuals.
Yeah,
I say that in the nicest way possible, by the way.
And I don't assume if I think most Southern people. Probably, right? Will probably.
Come on now.
Yeah, I think most Southern people will probably have issues with like the political side of this.
It just depends. Like certain people are portrayed certain ways, and like honestly, there are
It's just going to be a bunch of mixed reviews.
Yeah, and there's going to be mixed reviews because I feel like people that are more on the like liberal side of things are not going to like how the main characters were portrayed that were more liberal characters. Like the conservative people will maybe not like how like the woman that owns the orphanage was portrayed or the contractor was portrayed.
Yeah, or
it's just
whatever
it's a mixed bag of things, and I do appreciate that.
Yeah.
They did too much with it, but
yeah, in our opinions, right? Because that's no opinion is a wrong opinion.
Yeah, but Texas Chainsaw Massacre always had like hippies, stuff like that being captured, and like so they at least followed that formula.
But I do believe it'll end up having a sequel.
Yeah, I
I
hope
think
so.
If I'm, I don't know if I'm right, but I think it's number 3 on Netflix right now.
I don't trust Netflix ratings because I think they play with them.
Oh,
I think
how it shows up top 10 right now?
Like Squid Game was like the most views of all time on Netflix for a while.
And it wasn't number 1?
And it was like number 6.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, I think they like were skeptical to put it as, they didn't want to put that as number 1 and that was another thing. I don't know if, I think that was huge for like international films, like international series and stuff, where Netflix is like, we can't put a number 1.
I still haven't watched it, by the way.
Oh, we'll talk about that another time if we ever get to it. It's a little past, but it's great.
People have been talking. I mean, like we had a birthday party we were at the other couple months ago, and people were telling us, our friends were telling us to cover it, but
yeah, it's tough to cover series. So we're still trying to figure that out.
Like I don't know if that's like is it horror?
It's very much like a thriller.
Okay.
It's not scary.
Yeah.
But it has thriller elements, and we could cover it. We could definitely cover it.
It's like
it would fit.
It's like a horror adjacent.
It's horror adjacent. Perfect. Yeah. But we're getting a little off topic. But it's okay.
Sorry, man. I was just thinking about. I don't know. I've literally never seen an episode of it, so I don't.
But like it's good to talk about that because we're talking Netflix like production originals and stuff.
So,
technically.
Hey, man. It is what it is. So with that said, let's, as always, peace and love. Like, comment, share, subscribe.
Yeah, give us your thoughts. We really want to know what everyone thought about this.
For sure.
So, it was a fun one. So, sponsored by Blue Moon.
Dos Equis doesn't sponsor us anymore, so we're now Blue Moon people.
Yep, but we out. Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That's a wrap.